Afternoon edition. Police have warned that flying unmanned drones over crowds or near landmark buildings is illegal. They've issued the message amid fears that the new must-have aerial gadgets that I suspect we've done something to promote on this programme to a small extent are being used to harass and spy on people.
We were going to get one for the Walker family, but we went for inline scooters instead, two-wheeled scooters and a skateboard. Last month, a drone nearly collided with a passenger jet near Heathrow Airport, and there's been an increase in the number of drones hovering over crowds at sporting events as well. And over Christmas, a mistletoe-carrying drone, did you see this, being flown over customers in a restaurant in New York, crashed into a female diner, and it cut her face open.
Well, Chief Inspector Nick Aldworth of the Metropolitan Police sits on the National Policing Working Group on drones. He's with us now. Nick, thanks for being here. How much of a headache is the increased use and availability of drones becoming for the police since Christmas particularly?
Good afternoon, Sarah. Thankfully, since Christmas, our worst fears are not yet being realised. However, the reason we've wanted to go public with a bit more dialogue around this is we've seen an exponential increase on the reporting and use of drones over the last couple of years. And certainly all our intelligence is telling us that there are now tens of thousands of items, devices of varying shapes and sizes in legal private possession and being used up and down the country. And it's really important for us to get this message out to people to say, look, owning these things, using them is perfectly legal, but you've got to know what the rules are and you've got to abide by the rules. It's a bit like driving a car.
So what's the law? Is it straightforward or not?
It's straightforward in many respects, but it does have some nuances and complications, particularly when it starts talking about heights and distances and things like that. But in essence, you've got to take a sensible approach to this, which is these are flying machines. They can weigh, up several kilos, and if they drop out the sky and land on somebody, it's going to hurt them. And therefore, one of the key pieces of legislation, the Air Navigation Order of 2009, says, don't be flying it over a congested area. There's always that risk. Don't fly within 50 metres of people, vehicles or buildings. There's got to be a common sense approach to this.
That's what I was going to say. The words that are shouting out at me were common sense. But YouTube is full of drone videos. People have shot, flying them over landmarks, particularly in London as well. So if that is happening and you've got something for Christmas like this and you're out there flying it around over a crowd or wherever it might be, are you liable to get a tap on the shoulder from a policeman?
Dan, in the Met Police in particular, we're now gearing up to actually deal with the perception that this will increase, and all our officers have recently been given guidance. And yes, we will start treating it as a crime, but in so many walks of policing, we deal with crimes in different ways, and we expect to deal with this in a proportionate way, appropriate to what's actually going on at the time. So,
does the Met use drones at all?
Pardon?
Does the Met use drones at all for anything?
I'm not in a position really to talk about the police use of this technology at the moment, Sarah. I do apologise. That's not within my remit to discuss. Where I'm focused on at the moment is getting our people geared up to actually understand the legislation themselves and what we need to do to protect the people of London from potentially malicious, negligent or reckless misuse of this technology.
So, Nick, it could be anything from a ticking off to an arrest.
It could be, absolutely right. And actually, over the last year, we have seen that. We've dealt with a number of tourists in central London that have been flying them around iconic sites, and we've actually arrested an individual who'd been flying them over sports stadiums.
Nick, thanks very much. Nick Aldworth of the Metropolitan Police. Let's talk to Michael Kheng now. He runs an aerial photography and videography business. Thanks, Michael. You use drones professionally. Obviously, you know how to fly them. Do you think they're a bit of a hazard, though, for people who don't?
Yeah, hi there. I think they can be a hazard, or they could pose a danger if used by inexperienced people. People like myself. We're qualified, we're trained, we know their navigation order, and we know the laws of the air, and we have to abide by those, and we log all our flights. It's the person that's probably got one of these for Christmas that is totally unaware that once they put it in the sky, they're subject to the air navigation order and subject to all these restrictions that probably could pose a problem. And like Chief Inspector Aldworth has said there, they can weigh several kilos, these machines, and used incorrectly and in the wrong situations, if they do fall out of the sky, they could harm somebody or they could cause a serious incident.
So the Chief Inspector was saying there about anything from a tap on the shoulder to it's a ticking off to an arrest. If somebody was to do that to you, I would imagine have you got a permit to say, hold on a minute, I'm licensed to fly this thing?
Yeah, and I think that's the key. Is there's this kind of this I'm a member of RPAS, which is the Association of Remotely Piloted Aircraft Systems, and we're a group of commercial operators and suppliers, and we try and educate really the people that have got these machines for Christmas and the like, and we categorise three types of categories. There's ourselves as commercial people who are trained and qualified and everything else. There's people that go to the hobby fields that will fly them as a hobby, and then there are the consumers that are probably unaware of anything else. What we want to try and get across as an association is the awareness to these consumers that, yes, you can fly these and fly them safely and responsibly, but in the right places. Don't fly them in congested areas. Don't fly them within 150 metres of vehicles and everything else like that. I think one thing that has to be learned, though, is there's a lot said that you can't fly these in congested areas, but as a professional and a qualified pilot with a permission from the CAA, we can fly them in congested areas. So there has to be an understanding from the police as well, and an education and awareness, really, that they must come up to the pilot that's flying it and ask in the first instance, are you qualified, have you got permission for aerial work, and so on, so they know that you can or you can't be there.
It's a very valid point, Michael. Thank you very much for your opinion as well. It's Michael Kheng.
I would like to know if you bought a drone over Christmas for somebody, if they're using it, how you fared with it, if you've stacked it into just your wall of your house, or if you're out and about flying it. Let us know. 85058. You nearly did, you were saying.
We didn't get a drone for Christmas, but we did fly one as part of our FA Cup coverage on the telly. Yeah, and we crashed it into the Manchester Ship Canal. Anyway.
I rest my case. Rangers football